even for us to make sure that abhi to we were able to go to 100 city, our idea is to go to 200 500 cities and villages as much as we can, क्योंकि जब तक वो platform नहीं आएगा बच्चे के पास, they won't be able to showcase their skills anywhere, right? Academics is something that will always help you out regardless of the fact कि वो engineering था या फिर वो PGDM course था in events and operations. सो वो कहीं ना कहीं से इंटरलिंक होके इट ऑलवेज हेल्प्स यू आउट. कभी कभी तो इतने माइन्यूट चैलेंजेस होते थे, देन यू फील लाइक ओ ये तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं था कि ये भी हो सकता है.
Welcome to the second episode of Women in Indian Football on All About Football. And today we are honored to have Nirja Shekhawat, the dynamic operations head at India Khelo Football IKF with us. Nirja has been a driving force behind IKF's mission to revolutionize grassroots football in India by creating opportunities for young players through innovative initiatives and partnerships. In this episode, it will be all about her story. So, starting off, any words that you would like to say as an introduction?
So, hi, Atauris. Thank you for having me, and honestly, thank you for providing this amazing platform that you have provided, through which many things have been highlighted over past your past activities. So, like you said, I am an sports enthusiast, and currently I am the operations head of India Khelo Football. By education, I'm an engineer. By passion, I'm an operations sports person. And since the inception of India Khelo Football, I have been with them. And that is how my journey also started in the sports operations industry. So, so far it's been 4 years, and so far it has been quite amazing journey, bringing on some new challenges, bringing on some new learnings every day. So, yeah, this is a bit about me and what I have been doing so far.
Yeah. So starting off, can you just share your story on how you started following football and Indian football in general? Because as you mentioned that you are an engineer from degree, so how did that shift happen?
Yeah, so yes, so initially, while I was pursuing my engineering, um, I wanted to become an engineer because I wanted to join armed forces, and I wanted to serve the nation. I wanted to serve the people in it, and that was quite clear to me since beginning. But while I was pursuing my SSB training programs and the coaching that I was enrolled into, I decided to, like expand my horizon with some other academic background as well. And sports operations was something that always, I don't know, it lit some spark in me. So I decided to pursue a degree side by side. And while I was pursuing this course, I saw an internship opportunity with India Khelo Football. And back then, India Khelo Football had just started. So I decided, like, why not just jump into it and find out if this is the field I want to really work into and put my energy into. And yeah, the visions aligned basically with India Khelo Football. It was something, it was more about, following your passion. It was not about being in an organization जहाँ पे एक hierarchical structure है, where you are, just working for an organization. It was working and growing with an organization. And that is what I really appreciated about India Khelo Football, about the scale of India Khelo Football, the vision that they had, and which was to, create a structured career path for professional football players. And I think वो इतना lucrative था that I couldn't I couldn't find myself to say no to it. Rather, I felt like, okay, this is something that I should do for sure. And that is how I think, yeah, so that is how my sports operations journey started with India Khelo Football. And
Yeah.
honestly, at that point of time, I didn't think I'll become an operations head someday. For me, it was more like just get into it, see what the field is all about, or what I can explore with India Khelo Football.
Yeah. Yeah. And joining India Kilo Football because I've also been a part of them for the season 4 workshop. So how has been the experience so far?
So Like I said, I mean, it has been phenomenal. मतलब हर दिन, like I said, कुछ ना कुछ नया निकल के आता है and you get to know, अच्छा नहीं, इस season तो कुछ और change करना पड़ेगा. You have to do something new to, something new in every city in order to make sure कि the ideology of India Khelo Football is intact, and to find the right partners every time you go to any other city, and finding and networking with new people, with like-minded people, that is more important rather. So every day, yeah, I think every day it's a new learning experience for me. And we have been blessed with, I would say, with, amazing team with whom I can, discuss about my regular day-to-day activities, to plan ahead in time what needs to be done in order to make sure that uh, this is the upcoming activities that we need to focus on. And I think a good team is a key to anything. That is what I would feel. And planning about any activities or anything that we have to do for India Khelo Football is something that is totally related to what we have done in past and what we need to do next.
Yeah,
So experience again, like बहुत ही अच्छा रहा है, rather phenomenal ही रहा है, with all the activities that we have been doing.
yeah, yeah. And since you were an engineering student, so how has engineering helped you in operations for India Khelo Football?
Right. So as an engineer, I mean, again, for me to identify anything, even in engineering in those 4 years, there were many subjects which were core subjects of ENTC, and apart from that, there were some subjects during those 4 years which were related to our uh, entrepreneurs, to bring out the entrepreneurs in us. So over those 4 years, I have learned कि एक academic knowledge is something that is always gonna help you out in any possible way. For example, even at India Khelo Football, we have our all the registrations that we do, all kind of implementation of technical aspects that are there. It involves certain aspect of honestly art and science, जो कि मैं इंजीनियरिंग से रिलेट कर रही हूँ. एंड वो चीज़ें भी मुझे हेल्प आउट किया इन अ वे कि जहाँ पे मेरे concepts about web development or any kind of website development or any thing related to, rather मतलब वो इतना deeply involved हो जाता है कि even if in any city trial, जहाँ पे हमें पता है कि we need a PA system, we need a mic announcement system in a city trial, और मुझे पता है कि वो क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है कि वोल्टेज का फ्लक्चुएशन है, उसकी वजह से पीए सिस्टम नहीं चल रहा है, तो वो उतना डीपली इन्वॉल्व कहीं ना कहीं से कनेक्ट होके आता है. सो
Yeah,
अगेन एकेडमिक्स इज समथिंग दैट विल ऑलवेज हेल्प यू आउट रिगार्डलेस ऑफ द फैक्ट कि वो इंजीनियरिंग था या फिर वो पीजीडीएम कोर्स था इन इवेंट्स एंड ऑपरेशंस. सो वो कहीं ना कहीं से इंटरलिंक होके इट ऑलवेज हेल्प्स यू आउट.
yeah, yeah. And being an engineer myself, so I know the shift and what you need to
Right.
change. And they say that engineers can do everything. Um, we are masters in everything.
A proven fact now, I believe.
Yeah. Coming back to your IKF, role. So what is your day-to-day roles and responsibilities as an operation head?
So, as an operations head, so in operations, anything and everything under the sun, that is operations. So, anything related to planning, strategizing, finding new partners, collaborating with new partners, uh, having a discussion panel every week with your team, getting the feedback from the regional execution partners, planning ahead in time for the next upcoming city trials, or planning in ahead for the upcoming season, finalizing what needs to be done, what things needs to be improved upon in order to provide better support system to the players or to the clubs. Legit everything under the sun comes under operations, and this is what a day-to-day life is all about for a operations person. And मतलब प्रोबेबली इतनी चीजें होती है कि अभी तो मैं एक्सप्लेन करने जाऊं उसको एट लेंथ, तो वो चलता जाएगा ये
Yeah,
पॉडकास्ट.
yeah, yeah. And since the IKF workshop and trials are conducted in many different cities, so it is an extensive process. So how do you manage that? And I mean, it started in 2019 IKF, right? So how have you all gradually grown over the years?
So, like you said, I mean, otherwise, it's about the activities that we have been doing. But वो activities के पीछे there are certain processes that we initially identified what needs to be done in order to make this platform a accessible platform for the players, a accessible platform for the clubs, and in order to identify कि ये activities are being done in a certain manner where the brand's quality is intact, and at the same time it's providing a dedicated pathway, which is the vision of IKF, right? A dedicated pathway to players who want to build a structured career, a professional career in football. So for us, it was very important to identify what are the certain processes that needs to be followed, what are the certain standard operating procedures that we need to ensure that it should happen for any activity that we are doing, be it workshop, be it US university program, be it our 100 talent city hunt program. So once we identified that, and we set the strategy for it, once we planned about it, once we got a feedback about how we need to improve upon those things, so that is what I think led to the success of the activities that we have been doing.
Mm,
Uh, and to I think what validated these activities is that, for example, our 100 City Talent Hunt program that we do every year, that has gone to a massive scale. And to by massive scale, I mean initially in season one it was 17 cities. In season two, it got to 20 plus. Then it became 50 plus. Then this season it's 100 plus.
mm,
So what happens is that every year you try to identify what you have done right, what you have done wrong,
mm,
and the feedback mechanism is something that's I think sets the process. So validation is something that we started getting when the players started getting placed into clubs. Even in the workshop that you have seen, many players who got the 100% scholarship, they have gone and they have received fruitful results out of it. And similarly in the US university program. So I think these activities, when we implement it, when we get the results out of it, is what has been setting India Khelo Football apart from all other organizations, because we are just a platform provider. We are
mm,
not a club, we are not an agent, or we are uh, we are just a platform. So usko sustainable banana in such a way that you identify कि exactly क्या आपको what you wanted to deliver and what you are delivering. If that
mm.
matches, then it's perfect.
Yeah. And there was one question that I was meaning to ask to you because when you all started in 2019, you had to build that trust among the young footballers that this is a platform that can provide you opportunities. So how did that trust grow into that player? Because just like you mentioned that it started increasing the numbers of cities, 17, then 50 plus, then now it's 100 plus. So there must be a trust going on among the young footballers that this is a platform that can provide us something in football. So how did you build the trust?
Sorry, I think I lost your voice for a bit. Can you please repeat that?
Yeah, yeah. So just like you mentioned that you all have grown from 17 cities then to 50 cities now 100 cities. So you must have brought up or you must have inculcated that trust among the players, among the Indian young Indian players, that there is a platform that can provide us opportunities in Indian football. So how did you all build that trust among the young footballers?
Right, right. So I think it's the credibility is something that again builds over time. In season one, I believe we had around 3,000 plus participants. And by season four, we have around 10,000 plus participants. But again, the credibility is something that was built over time. It was not built in one day, right? So in this, there are two important factors. It's not just India Khelo Football who is providing a platform to these players, but with the partners and the collaborations that India Khelo Football did in the local region. Now, for us to expand into multiple cities and having being a non-profit organization, it's not a very sustainable method where only 4 or 5 team member are operating and they are going to all the cities and conducting trials. So that is something which is humanly not possible. So what we had decided that it's important that we have partners who share a similar ideology and the vision of India Khelo Football. And believe me on this, when we went out to find those passionate, regional execution partners, there were many. And believe me on this, there are so many people who wants to grow grassroots football, who want to develop this ecosystem. It would amaze your mind. Believe me on this. And on the similar manner, so IKF is an identity. IKF is credible in front of people, but at the local region, the partners that we have in different cities, they even have a deeper connect with the parents, with the kids, with the football ecosystem there. So, IKF's identity goes hand in hand with the regional execution partners identity. So, basically, जितनी partnership is better, उतना ही better आपका credible platform आपका बनता जाता है. And again, it's very important that the vision shared by both the parties should be same. I mean, the partners that we have, they all know like this is not a profit-making activity. This is a trial where what we are doing it is for the Indian football ecosystem. It's not something like कि मतलब अभी जो players भी scout हो रहे हैं, it's not like वो हम अपने लिए scout कर रहे हैं. We are scouting it for someone else. We are providing it to the clubs, that too at free of cost. So it's the vision that I think captured everyone's attention, and even for the players, even for the parents, because whenever I go to any kind of trial, I do try to take their feedback about what do you think about the trial. And many to many cities we have gone to, or to many villages that we have gone to, the concept of trial is so different and the concept of scouting is so different, क्योंकि generally coaches are the ones who are scouting. India में वो concept अभी काफी मतलब better हो गया है, but earlier it was just the coaches. Players would only know a coach. Scout का terminology was very different. So वो we felt over a period of time, आप जितना अपने end से awareness बढ़ाते जाओगे, उतना आपका credibility बढ़ता जाएगा. So that is what we felt.
Yes, yes. And coming back to the strategies, so what are the strategies that have made IKF such a great platform now for young Indian footballers? Which have been the most effective strategies for you all to grow IKF? Because from 2019 now to 2024, so within 5 years there has been a drastic rise for IKF. So what has been the key strategies for the same?
Sorry, last bit I lost.
So there must be some strategies, right? That IKF has grown so drastically in just 5 years, from 2019 to
Right,
2024. So what have been
right.
the best strategies for IKF?
So, I think again, I think there are two aspects of it. Uh, Strategy is something that is again defined by process and SOPs. But in order to identify वो strategize आप किसके लिए कर रहे हो is very important, right? So, for us, it was very important to identify at the first key strategies are something that is probably going to be either it will be same for all the regions that we are going to, or either it will be different as per the region we are going to. So, over these 4 years, um, initially in our season one, we were following a tournament structure. And in the upcoming seasons, we switched to a trial structure because we knew that tournament is something which is very, entertaining in a way. But if it comes to trial is something where scouting takes a front seat and entertainment उतना नहीं होता है उसमें.
Correct,
But we realized while identifying the major aspects of what is missing in Indian football ecosystem was the scouting aspect. And that is when we identified key it's time to make sure that we follow a trial structure in the organization. And wherever we go, we followed the trial structure after the second season, and I think it that is what set us apart initially. And to bring in the network of scouts that we have developed over this entire 4 years of time. That was also something that became a very important, rather a core activity while strategizing about India Khelo Football and its activities. Again, and then strategizing on how to make the entire platform accessible for the players throughout the year, or for the clubs, it should be accessible throughout the years. So again, like, there were many micro strategies that was involved in order to make a macro change. And similarly, while we were strategizing this, it was very important that we again find the right kind of partnerships that we have, because only when we find a right partner, we will be able to identify what could be the challenges associated with it, and with those challenges, how to plan ahead in time and make sure that there are no challenges. So what happened over these 4 years, we grew as an organization. We implemented some processes, we set some SOPs, we ensured that the SOPs are being so easy to follow by any partner that we have. That it should be a very smooth operations eventually. So that's what. So strategy, partnership is something that are directly related. And with the inception, when we got to understand, okay, these are directly related and operations is just a byproduct of these things, is when we were able to identify, okay, this is something that will work out. So I think, yeah, the learnings over these 4 years of strategizing, planning, partnerships, and operations are something that I got. I feel that I was very lucky to live through all of these activities. So yeah, I think majorly it was that.
Yeah, yeah. And just like you spoke, there were some challenges, of course. So, what were the main challenges for you as the operations head?
Huh. Wow, that's a good question. So, like in any organization, I think, of course, we had many challenges that were there throughout. It could be related to, मतलब कभी कभी तो इतने minute challenges होते थे, then you feel like, oh, ये तो हमने सोचा ही नहीं था कि ये भी हो सकता है. But what I realized that these challenges are very minor in a way. Uh, Only thing is that you should have a good mechanism to cope up with those challenges, right? So our mechanism is very simple. We have a very good core team in place who helps or who thinks through all of these activities. Now, operations is not a single person's job. Me being an operations head, it won't be like I'm doing everything, right? It's a entire team effort. Uh, for example, we have a communication head in place. Her name is Sanskriti Yadav. We have a technical head in place whose name is Nimish Petale. We have an administrative person, Suri Babu. तो क्या होता है कि चैलेंजेस मतलब वैसे नहीं होता है कि मैं अकेले हैंडल कर रही हूँ. इट बिकम्स अ टीम एक्टिविटी. सो वेन एवर वी आर प्लानिंग regarding anything, up to the challenges have reduced drastically. But initially, when the brand was not known, initially when I was just entering into sports operations field, I had to prove my capability and my organization's capability to anyone and everyone, whoever I'm going into. But over these years, they reduced drastically, because again, we showcase ourselves that we are a credible platform and we are working for the Indian football ecosystem. And our work said a lot about ourselves. And similarly, like for me to prove my capabilities or my organization's capabilities, I need to show impact. And that is what I think, helped us over these 4 years. Even the brands started coming in. Initially, it was very difficult to, attract some brands to support us as well. But over these 4 years, we identified what needs to be, showcased in front of the people, that we are a credible platform. And that is how I believe the challenges started reducing drastically over the coming years. And yeah, a good team is something that you should always be blessed with in order to cope up with those challenges.
Yeah, yeah. And coming back to the impact that IKF is creating among the young Indian footballers. So, how do you evaluate the impact of the national trials? How do you evaluate the impact the national trials, the workshops are having on the young Indian footballers? Because if there's no impact, that then the young Indian footballers can't grow. So there must be an impact. That is the reason why you are growing so quickly in the Indian football landscape. So what is the impact on the players, especially after they finish the workshop or the trial?
Sorry, I'll miss the in between bit. Sorry.
Yeah, so there must be an impact of the trials and workshops that you all are conducting. So how do you evaluate the impact on the young Indian footballers? Because basically the whole strategy comes down to them, that how they are improving, right? The Indian footballers. So how does that impact, and how do you evaluate the same?
Right. So, like I said, impact is something that we got to measure over a period of time. For example, I'll give you a brief example. Initially, the participation was low for the trials in the initial season because we were not that known. After that, it kept on increasing every season.
Mm,
And we also went to multiple cities. We increased our city count, and that's when all the clubs or the academies who started coming to scout talent from our platform, uh, they started learning that it's a very genuine platform and a democratic platform, where we are not even charging the club for taking any player, or for the player also we are just charging 295 rupees, and even if they get scouted by any club or any academy, we don't charge anything to them. So, over these period of time, players started getting scouted for different clubs. For example, recently a player from the conflict area of Manipur, Thomas, he got scouted by Bengaluru FC. Then Suren Hasda from Jharkhand, he got scouted by FC Madras. And over these period of time, like there have been many such journeys. But what impact that we have created from trials or from the workshops, even from workshops, like there were 3 to 4 players who got workshop 100% scholarship last season for UK, Spain, and I believe for Poland. So क्या होता है ना, मतलब over these period of time, you started creating an impact over the, and honestly these impact are not just for players. Ye impact, it affects their family also. The one player's journey, like Suren Hazda, I believe, I'm sure you must have seen it also, like how that player's journey changed the journey of the of the single mother that he had.
mm,
So क्या होता है, ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ये इम्पैक्ट धीरे धीरे शोकेस होना चालू होता है. इनिशियली वी वर नॉट इवन, we were just trying to identify कौन कहाँ प्लेस हुआ है. बट
mm,
अब क्या हो रहा है, वी आर ट्राइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई कि ये प्लेयर के पीछे व्हाट वाज हिज बैकग्राउंड जर्नी, उसको यहाँ पहुंचने में कितना टाइम लगा, हाउ डिड ही इवन रीच देयर, is what we are trying to identify, to to make sure कि that this platform gets accessed by maximum players. Because ये accessibility जब तक नहीं आएगी, it would be difficult to make more and more impact. So
mm.
scale of impact is there currently. The idea is to enhance the scale of impact, and that is what is our focus for the upcoming seasons as well.
Yeah, yeah, and just like you mentioned that the player and you have to know their background as well, as to what they have, what kind of family they have, how what is their income on everything. And that is the main reason why I feel that Indian football at this point of time is not growing that much, because uh, the thinking of our parent generation is like, um, that you have to study, you have to find a stable job, but they don't see that sports is kind of a reliable, industry as well. And once you get in and once you start developing in the same, it is quite a rewarding industry if you think about the business aspect of the same as well. But let's see how Indian football grows. But coming back to the same topic, means Indian football, and we all know that Indian football is trying to grow for a lot of time. Since the past few years, we are creating opportunities. We are trying to, compete with the best Asian nations at this point of time. But still, we are not able to find that luck and the wins that is necessary to grow. So, what are your thoughts in Indian football?
So, being with India Khelo Football, something that I have realized is, at the end of the day, you as a person can only do your level best to support the system. I mean, I'm not a technical person, but I know what I can do to, provide my assistance to make the Indian football ecosystem grow. And that is what I think lured me towards India Khelo Football. India Khelo Football has been in this industry for like quite some time now, but to make sure that the Indian football ecosystem is growing is only when we are, there to support the grassroots football.
Hmm.
सो जब तक वो ग्रास रूट फुटबॉल और प्रोफेशनल फुटबॉल का गैप ब्रिज नहीं होगा ना, तब तक आई थिंक देयर विल बी दिस अनसर्टेनिटी ऑफ व्हाट इज नेक्स्ट, है ना? सो again, what we feel is that what we have been trying to rather cure is that we need to have a good grassroots structure, or rather a good structure to identify how these players will find their pathway to reach to become a professional footballer rather. And y- I think the if we can identify these set of problems on how to make sure, like we are trying from our end to make sure that the ecosystem is growing, and we are going to multiple city to scout talent, we are trying to promote grassroots football in all the regions that we have, our partners are there to inculcate the feeling and the passion of football that needs to grow in order to develop Indian football. And I think now is football's time, honestly. As of now, it was quite untapped, but with the current scenario that we have been seeing, with what we have been doing, we feel that it's a genuine opportunity for whoever wish to build their career in football and whoever wish to be a part of this ecosystem to support Indian football. Now is the time. And if you take on this opportunity, you are in it for life, and probably आज नहीं तो कल वो results भी दिखेंगे.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And hopefully that we do see the results. Um, yeah, and going back to the Indian football ecosystem. So if you are given one chance to change something in the Indian football ecosystem, what would you do?
Sorry, one.
If you are given the chance to change something in the Indian football ecosystem, what would you do?
I think you're putting me on the spot here. So again, like I said, I think uh, I wouldn't say change, but from my end, what I would like to, do for Indian football system is to make sure that as of now, the accessibility of the platform is still lacking.
Hmm.
Even at the grassroots level, even if you go to any core, village of India, because we have been to many villages of India so far, and what I have seen over these period of time is that फुटबॉल बच्चा खेल रहा है वहां पे. देयर इज अ ग्राउंड, दे हैव अ फटा हुआ बॉल, दे आर प्लेइंग फुटबॉल, उनके 5-6 लोगों को मिला के अच्छे से दे आर प्लेइंग इट. But uh, but since there is no certain pathway for them to showcase or to uh, कर रहे हैं खेल रहे हैं but किस चीज के लिए खेल रहे हैं there is a playing for fun, there is a playing for becoming a professional person in that particular field. So as soon as that idea, okay, this is what I am preparing myself for, that gets identified even for the player, that would make a huge impact. अभी प्लेयर्स को शायद पता भी नहीं होगा कि देयर इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म, फॉर एग्जांपल देयर इज अ विलेज इन राजस्थान जहाँ पे एक बच्चा रोज खेल रहा है, रोज प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है, बट वो खेल रहा है बट उसके पास प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, राइट? तो वो एक्सेसिबल बनाना उस प्लेटफॉर्म को, इवन फॉर अस टू मेक श्योर दैट अभी तो वी वर एबल टू गो टू 100 सिटी, आर आइडिया इज टू गो टू 200 500 cities एंड villages as much as we can, क्योंकि जब तक वो प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं आएगा बच्चे के पास, they won't be able to showcase their skills anywhere, right? Won't be able to get scouted, won't be able to showcase their talent in front of any club or any academy. So that's the idea. I think ये part अगर जितना जल्दी और जितना ज्यादा expand हो पाए in all the cities and villages of India, that would make a huge impact.
Yeah, yeah. And your answer was a lot different than what I got in the previous podcast. Everyone was saying that we would like to change something, and you are like, we are still doing it, but not at a larger scale.
Yeah.
So that was a great differentiation and a great answer as well. Now coming back to your personal, well-being and interest. So how do you manage that with your role, your personal interest and well-being?
So I think it's very simple for me at Avaris because for me, I have never considered this as a job. And honestly, वो लगता भी नहीं है. I think you should come to our office once.
I have,
Oh, you have? Oh,
yes, yes, yes.
then I lost a chance to meet you in person.
Yeah, we conducted a podcast there with
Oh,
Tiger
right.
Capital.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I think my personal well-being is something that I manage post my working hours. But there's a huge, क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, when you are, again, like I said, working for someone and working with someone makes a huge impact on your life. And with India Khelo Football, we are a very, at least the people who are working from the Bombay office, we are a very limited set of people who are there, and everyone knows their roles and responsibility, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, because we were able to set the processes in such a fashion that it has become quite easy. So for me, post my working hours, my personal well-being is something that I try to आई मीन उसको कुछ सेपरेट मुझे करना नहीं पड़ता है टू मैनेज इट ऑनेस्टली. वो इतना स्मूथ ट्रांजिशन हो रहा है ओवर दिस पीरियड ऑफ टाइम दैट आई डोंट फील कि इट इज यू नो देयर इज अ सेपरेट लाइन कि ये इसके बाद ये होना चाहिए, इसके पहले ये होना चाहिए. सो आई नेवर फेल्ट इट लाइक दैट ऑनेस्टली.
Yeah, yeah. And just last question of this episode too. And since we are in the podcast game Women in Indian Football, so what is your message to women, especially who want to grow in Indian football or football in general?
Right. So it's very simple. I think women are doing great in Indian football, be it management and the be it the game as well. Uh, but what I have observed over these past years is that there is a scope of you know there is a scope where more women can be involved in the on ground operations bit.
Hmm.
So recently, we have our own scouting certification, which is being managed by our technical head, Mr. Nimish Pitale. So we have more male scouts as of now, but recently we have seen a spike in the female scouts as well. So
Hmm.
definitely, again, speaking from the numbers, the change is there that I can see. Like on ground, more female scouts are coming up on the operations and the management bit of it. More and more females are coming in, but this is still restricted to the cities. In the villages, I think there is still a scope of improvement, or a scope of improvement in the awareness campaigns, that this is a new field that can be explored by women as well. And uh, I feel that even in India Khelo Football, we have like a 50-50% ratio of males and females. And I feel even in the on ground operations, we feel more and more, academy owners. If there are academy owners, there should be female academy owners as well. Which again, over these years, I have seen that has also increased. So my only message to these females who wish to build their career in football, or rather in any sports, is to start experimenting. Just thinking that this might not be my field, could be a that could take a backseat for now. Should just get into it and try exploring as much as you can. For example, you might like management aspect of football. For example, you might, or you might like another aspect of football, probably a technical aspect of it, like developing a website for, or any kind of registration portal for any organization that they are related to sports. Because there are many opportunities are there, that is for sure. Because uh, these opportunities and the awareness, and thanks to internet,
Yeah,
accessibility of identifying these opportunities are also there.
exactly.
So yeah, I think uh, women are there, but it would be great if more women. I mean, the ratio currently is skewed. So if the ratio needs to be increased, I think it's time to get more and more females to get to know about such activities. I mean, sports is not just going on ground, or doing operational work. It's more. There is more to it. And as soon as I think everyone gets to know about it, it will again make a difference.
Yeah. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode two of Women in Indian Football at All About Football. Any few words that you would like to say before ending the episode?
Uh, I think yes, majorly again for India Khelo Football, because I feel challenges have been discussed over and over again, and it's time to support Indian football. Yeah, that is more important. And what we are doing, if we can make this platform accessible to more and more footballers, to people, to brands, that would again create a change in the football ecosystem. And at the end of day, the bigger picture is Indian football ecosystem, and
Yeah.
that is what we need to keep in mind, rather than uh, keep on identifying what needs to be changed. Rather, how you can support, or how you can promote Indian football at your end. it
Mm,
that's what matters at this point of time, and what you are doing to improve the situation. So as long as you are able to identify, fine, this is my bit, and I take on this responsibility,
yeah.
that makes a lot of difference. So I hope that with this podcast, uh, many other visionaries who share the passion for Indian football would be able to come forward and support India Khelo Football and the Indian football ecosystem at large.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is it. This is the end of the episode two of Women in Indian Football. We had Ms Nirja Shekhawat, the operations head of India Khelo Football, with us, and it was quite an entertaining chat. Learned a lot personally, and yeah, support Indian football and support India Khelo Football as well. Do follow their social media handles and on their YouTube channel as well. So yeah, that is it from my end. I am Atavar Varsi, host and founder of All About Football. Signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you.